Welcome to the Black Girl Burnout podcast. Kelley here. And today I am recording this from a place of softness. If you are watching me right now, I've got my legs up on my office chair. I'm leaned all the way back. I got a ring light on, and that's all it's doing. It's got to do all the heavy lifting today because I have had a week. I've had 2 weeks. I'm recording this pretty much in real time because tomorrow we're going to drop this episode because y'all, it's been so busy. I didn't have time to pre-prep an episode. I have other ones all prepped for the rest of the month, but this episode fell through the cracks. And the reason why I felt like this is the time to get on here and do an episode and to talk to you all is because it ties into the theme of the episode today, which is how to opt out of hustle worship. And really, it's about why I no longer make hard look holy. If you've been on Substack, I did a post exactly about this. And it's pretty rare in general that I do something that's exactly the same from Substack to the podcast. I like to make it different because I want you to have a different experience when you are tapping into Black Girl Burnout, that you really could follow me on every platform and get something different. But I feel like this needed to be an episode and a post. I need to write about it. One, it's just more like organic and it comes to me quickly when I write a blog post. But it also needed to be an episode, something that was real and honest, because the truth of the matter is that all of us are probably feeling like, girl, you've had a week, I've had a month, I've had a year, I've had a day, I've had an hour. We all have those moments, and I wanted to hold space for that and be the only way I can be, which is authentic and real about it, tell you how I am managing, and talk about ways to get through difficult times and how to let go of this mindset of glamorizing struggle. Remember, I'm all about opting out of struggle, and the only way to do that is to call it for what it is when you're experiencing it and find a different way of being. And so this episode is about the old version of me and how I've let it go, and it's an invitation for you to do the same. So first, let me tell you about my week. So this past week, and the past couple 10 days, I took on a client that I'm very excited about. I love working with this client. My day job, I do public speaking, but I also do like really transformative facilitation and training to we're talking like big, huge companies with billions of dollars and trying to achieve really beautiful goals. And I get to be a part of helping them do that. So I did that. I had a facilitation. It's worthy work, but it is exhausting work. It's usually at least 12-hour day commitment from the time I get up and leave my house to the time I walk back into my house, sometimes more. And it's just tiring. It's a part of the gig. It's tiring. In the midst of that, the first day of doing it, I come home, I call up my poor mother, and she tells me the fact that her house is flooded. My childhood home is flooded, and she has to be relocated. We find this out in real time. I'm on the phone with her as a person saying, you cannot be here anymore. For context, my mom's recently widowed. I'm not putting her business out in the street, but she's older. She's beautifully mature. And she has several serious debilitating illnesses. This poor woman had to find a hotel in a small town. I should also add that. There's not much to choose from, but a lovely friend helped out and found her something. It also is a week that I put out a podcast episode I was phenomenally proud of. Last week's episode with Emily Rumble on bibliotherapy is one of my favorite episodes I've ever done. And I did not promote that episode the way I wanted it to. I really had a full, robust promotion plan. And due to the emergency and the flooding and the figuring things out in real time on the phone, not only did I not go to bed on time, I spent the rest of my evening figuring out how to take care of Mama. And Mama's going to be okay. She's going to come down and visit. She's going to be with me for a bit. and figure out my client, the podcast slipped through the cracks. And it was frustrating because one, I need numbers, I need downloads, I need y'all to listen because since switching to once a week, it has had a cost. I knew that going in. I wasn't naive. But the reality is, I need to get my numbers up. And part of that is through consistent promotion, all the things I was supposed to be doing that I did not do. It was a week. And the truth is, there's a version of me that would have pushed through. There's a version of me that would have stayed up. I had stuff to do to prep for the next day of my facilitation. I would have stayed up till 1 a.m. trying to figure it out and been exhausted the next day. There's a version of myself that would have worked through the weekend to get certain things done, going to bed super late. I had Substack posts to write. There are versions of myself that would have kept pushing, and more importantly, glamorizing, pushing through, almost bragging about all the challenges I'm having and how oh girl, yeah, I still got to do this. Oh girl, yeah, I'm going to do this. Oh yeah, I got this done. Oh yeah, you need something from me? Call me. I would have pushed through. But the truth is, I'm not doing that anymore. I cannot do that anymore and be true to the mission of this podcast and just be true to the mission of my life, of where I am right now. I pushed through enough in my 20s, and I certainly pushed through a lot in my 30s. And I'm not doing that anymore. And so today, I'm tired. Today, I'm recording a podcast episode from a space of honesty. And after I finish this episode, I'm shutting everything down and going to spend the evening, I don't know, staring at the wall, calling a friend. I know what I won't be doing, working. And it's not because I don't have a pile of things I need to get to, because I do, but because I want to be different. I need to be different. And I have to let that old me go. And she's not coming back. She's not coming back. And so today I want to talk about why. I want to talk about the myth of holy heartness is what I'm calling it. The holiness, the worship we give to people who do everything the hard way. Think about it. Think about the heroes that we have in our culture. Think about the Black women that we revere. What is it about them that we like? Absolutely, they're talented. Absolutely, they've done amazing things. But it's usually anchored in some point of incredible struggle or incredible pain. Maybe it's civil rights and abolitionist activists that we're really tied into. Maybe it's like a Harriet Tubman, right? A woman who is absolutely worthy of admiration in many ways and has contributed a lot. But the story of her is one of absolute hardship and struggle and overcoming. Look at the TV shows and movies. I mean, Harriet Tubman is an iconic, absolutely incredible figure. But then there are some people that we're consuming that are fictional characters that are just like, whose life is this? Everything has gone wrong. You all know what I'm talking about. There's certain popular movies and there's certain popular creatives who I will not name, but you know who I'm about to talk about, who center solely Black women trauma and Black women pain. There's always some narrative about a Black woman who's had everything gone. She lost her job. Her kid is sick. She, can't get a break at her bank, her check bouncing, or her man left her 5 times. There's always some kind of struggle narrative. And these are the movies that go number one. These are the struggles that we center. And if we're being honest, this is where this myth gets solidified that doing things the hard way is the only way, is the Black woman way. And then think about your life. So like that's pop culture, that's what we're seeing out there. But then what about what's going on in your life? And this isn't judgment. I'm telling you this used to be my life, and at times if I'm not careful, it still can be. Think about how many of you have late nights, are pushing through pain. Let's just pause on those two things. How many times are you saying, I'm going to go to bed at this time? And then you find yourself doing one more thing, two more things for people. And next, the bedtime's another hour later, maybe it's 2 hours later. And if you're like me, you miss the point where you could get some good rest. Like I'm the type of person, if I don't go to sleep at a certain time, it's over. Like I cross right over into being overly active in my brain and I can't slow down and I can't rest. Could that be you? What about pushing through pain? One of the biggest alarm bells that I've had in the last couple of years, one of the things that made me shift was how much I was not in my body, how often I was disassociated from my physical being. That when I took time to do mindfulness practices, often what would come up would be pain. And that was why I would kind of delay it. Like I would feel uncomfortable. But it was just the reality that I had ignored my body's symptoms for so long that when I finally sat down and listened to my body, I realized, oh, I have a knee ache. I need to probably do something about that. Oh, my stomach hurts, or I have a headache, or I have pain in my neck from tension. And initially, that wasn't a pleasant realization, but what it taught me was you could actually do something about that. You could massage your shoulder or your neck. You could take some medication if you need to for pain you're experiencing. You don't have to let it be so hard. But I wore that as a badge of honor. I was like, who needs Tylenol or Advil or any of those things? I'm just going to suffer through. Why? Why was that something that I needed to do? Why did I make it hard when it could have been easier? Why did I deprive myself of rest when I could have just said, I need a break? This myth of hard being holy has infiltrated every level of existence for Black women. It's so ingrained in us that we will find ourselves doing things the hard way, just like breathing air, because it's the way we've always done it and it's familiar. And to that end, I want you to affirm something. I want to tell you what I've affirmed and hope you affirm it with me, which is that I used to make hard look holy. Now I choose something different. So when we talk about constipation, bloating, heaviness, sluggishness, these aren't just random symptoms. They're actually your gut's way of telling you something's off. Look, I'm going to be real with you. As a podcaster and a consultant and a writer, I'm always on the go. And I have struggled for years to maintain my energy, to really keep myself kind of together with bloating around my cycle, all the things you can think of. This is where Oxy Powder from Global Healing came in. Oxy Powder isn't just another cleanse or a quick fix. It's a targeted oxygen-based formula that gently and safely breaks down and flushes out wastes and toxins that build up in your gut over time. I take it at night, and by the morning, I'm feeling lighter and clearer, just better. Oxy Powder is easy to take, and because of that, it's become a staple in my routine. And I'm not the only one. A consumer study showed incredible results. 95% said that it relieved constipation, 87% said it felt relief from bloating, and a massive 95% said they would use it again, with 93% recommending it to a friend. If you're tired of feeling weighed down, trust me on this. Head over to globalhealing.com/heal and try Oxy Powder for 20% off. You'll thank me later. That's globalhealing.com/heal. Let that be the affirmation you start to embed in your life so that you can move forward in a different way. Because the bottom line is there are consequences and realities to glorifying doing things the difficult way. I can think of 3. The first one is doing it hard is lonely. The truth of the matter is when I pushed through and made things difficult on myself, there was no space for anyone to help me. I knew I needed help. but no one else did because I performed my entire life like I didn't. I was the strong friend. I was the one you could call. She's got it all together. Meanwhile, I'm juggling 50 plates. I don't need to be juggling all 50. I probably could have gotten away with 10, but I'm adding more. And do you need a thing? And do you need a thing? And let me help you, friend. And in the process of doing that, I created space between myself and others. I ended up being resentful, and I felt the loneliest I've ever felt. Because the reality was, while I was busy projecting an image of someone who had it all together and was doing the most and the best, I was being annoyed that no one could see and help me. Well, why am I always the friend that you call and you need things from me? Do you know what I'm going through? No, no, they don't. Because you're making it look so easy that people are like, well, in that case, then can I call you with my issues? I want to, if you're doing it really well like this, I want to join in on that. Doing it the hard way is not holy, it's lonely. It will leave you isolated in imbalanced relationships of all kind, platonic and romantic, familial as well. It's not the answer. The second reason is that hard is inefficient. The hard way is not the best way, and anyone who tells you that is ridiculous. There are things that are challenging. There are things that require work. But most of the time, doing things the hard way and making it look great is probably the worst way. Doing the most isn't always doing what works. And yet, we will have ourselves out here believing that the hard way is the best way. The truth of the matter is, when I was doing the most and trying to make it look fabulous, when I was hustling, it kept me from exploring real solutions, better solutions, and more importantly, ease based ones. Hustling eliminated any pathway to ease in my life. And I would find myself, once I started interrupting that pattern, I would find myself going, oh, I could have just done this all along. I went in a circle when I could have just went in a quick straight line. What was I thinking? But when you're caught up in making the hard look holy, you're glorifying busy culture, you will find yourself doing it wrong and strong over and over again. The last reason is, can we be honest and say, doing it hard hurts? Trust me, as someone who did it the hard way for decades, it has cost me more than a check could ever fill. I paid for it in autoimmune flare ups and 60 pounds of stress weight that it took 2 years to get rid of, and soul deep burnout. When I tell you the amount of times that I experienced that type of burnout, the reason why I created this podcast was to show you a different way, because I knew firsthand the cost of that. It's a physical cost in your body. It's an emotional cost in your levels of anxiety and depression. It is a spiritual cost in losing hope and in losing your faith, whether it be in a religious kind of ideology or just in humanity or in the world or in nature. You just lose faith on every level. There is an unimaginable and not so hidden toll in pushing without pausing. And so if you are relating to this, being like, yep, I could feel that. I feel that way. I've had a week and I don't want to get trapped in the hard is holy rhythm. Why don't you do what I'm doing? I want to offer you 3 different things I'm choosing instead. And that is, first, rest, gentleness, sustainable effort, not martyrdom. So I'm looking for things that I can sustain. I'm looking for things that are gentle, that make me feel good, that make me feel soft. I am prioritizing laying out in my bed if I need to, or saying no to an invitation, because that is where the holiness is. The second thing is as a mindset. So, first is those actions, finding something that brings you rest, finding something that's gentle, finding something that's sustainable, not buying into martyrdom. But the second thing is really like a mindset shift about understanding that the work that I do is beautiful and meaningful. This podcast means so much to me. And the work I do day to day with these organizations is, incredible doesn't seem like the right word. It's amazing to behold. So I can do beautiful and meaningful work, but now I'm no longer killing myself to prove it. I don't need to take on an extra project just to prove to someone that what I do matters. And lastly, I am understanding that softness is strategic, not weak. My skill set is I'm a strategic planner. I can strategize just about literally anything. But I wasn't strategizing rest or softness. But now, when I made that shift, I see softness as just one more thing I strategically plan for myself. I build a systems and I build a strategy to softness. What does that look like in practical terms, right? I've said a bunch of words, beautiful words. What does that look like in practicality? In practicality, it means setting yourself a bedtime and sticking to it. Even if you just roll back your bedtime 15 minutes, right? Start with 15 minutes. You go to bed at midnight, try 11:45. Finding ways to bring gentleness into your day. There's a million ways to do that. Give yourself 10 minutes in the morning to stretch, to stare at the ceiling, to really sit with your cup of coffee. Find ways to infuse more gentleness in your life. Come up with a playlist that's gentle, that gets you going. The goal is not to make it big, but to make it repeatable and sustainable. Remember and remind yourself, no matter what work you're doing, maybe you're pushing yourself to the limits because you want to be a good partner or a good parent, that you can be a beautiful, loving, kind parent and partner and not kill yourself to prove that you are. What are ways that infuse rest and ease that still make you feel loving and present with your family and with your relationships? List them out and do them. Build a strategy around your softness. Build times around it. Protect it with boundaries. Put do not disturb on your phone or tell people I'm unavailable this weekend. Start learning the power of no in the ways that you can clear space for yourself. Build systems that protect you. Think of those suggestions as a way to choose softness instead of the fake holiness of doing it the hard way. So think about it. Think about where in your life are you still making hard look holy? Trust me, I'm there. I've been there. I'm still working through it. I'm not a perfect, polished, finished product. I'm still very much a work in progress here. And it's a question I ask myself now regularly, almost daily. And then say, just for today, can I choose softness instead of performance? Can I stop pretending to be something I'm not in the smallest way, in taking a lunch, in drinking some water, in dancing to your favorite song? The truth is, we all deserve more. That's it. That's a sentence. We deserve more. But the only way to get to that is to let go of the things that keep us stuck with less. And one of those things is making hard look holy, performing, being okay instead of actually just being it. I hope this episode resonates with you, and I hope you start yourself on a journey to let go, to be soft with yourself. And if you have had a week, a month, a year, a day, a lifetime, here's your invitation to just push pause and take a moment to help yourself, to heal yourself with a moment of well-deserved softness. Okay, this episode resonated with you. You know the spiel. One, you can find the article I post about it on Substack. Two, you can follow, subscribe, write a review on the podcast. Trust me, every review you all put up there is helping me generate revenue. Share this episode. Share these episodes with people in your life that you think would resonate with it, you think need it. I'm on a mission to help you and myself. Let's build this community out more and more. Connect with me further on Black Girl Burnout across all the things. TikTok, Instagram, Substack, YouTube. It's all Black Girl Burnout. There you'll get a different experience in each platform. I try to vary it a little bit so you're not seeing the same things everywhere. And this month, I'm supposed to be doing a Q&A episode. Drop your questions for me. You can either do it in the link in the show notes, or you can just send me a DM on TikTok or Instagram telling me, ask me anything, literally anything. If you want to talk about finances, a career progression, skincare, routines to prevent burnout, my favorite shows, literally anything, how I started podcast questions, please y'all ask me. Don't let me just have like one question from the audience. Let me know what you want me to talk about, and let's build this community and bring it closer. Let's have a conversation. All right, I'm about to go get some rest, y'all. So until next week, take care of yourself, take care of each other, prioritize rest, and find some joy in your week.